The mysterious death of Edgar Allan Poe. Unraveling history's darkest puzzle. On a dark, rainy night in October 1849, the world lost one of its greatest literary minds, Edgar Allan Poe. Known for his haunting tales and melancholic poetry, Poe's death was as enigmatic as the stories he penned. Found delirious and disheveled on the streets of Baltimore, Poe would never regain full consciousness. His death, like his life, remains shrouded in mystery. Poe was only 40 years old when he was discovered outside a tavern, wearing clothes that weren't his. He was quickly taken to Washington College Hospital, where his condition worsened. Over the next 4 days, he drifted in and out of consciousness, rambling incoherently. On October 7, 1849, he breathed his last, taking his final words, and the truth, into the grave. The death certificate listed no cause, leaving scholars and historians to wonder what truly happened. How did Poe end up on those streets, in such a wretched state? Over the years, numerous theories have surfaced, each more bizarre than the last. But none have been proven, leaving the circumstances of his demise open to interpretation. Poe's death has sparked one of the longest-standing mysteries in American history. The strange details of his final days have inspired endless speculation, but the facts remain elusive. From medical conditions to sinister foul play, each theory presents a new twist. The questions persist: what really happened in Poe's final moments? As we unravel the threads of Poe's last days, we'll explore the many theories that attempt to explain this unsolved puzzle. Was it political intrigue, a medical condition overlooked by 19th-century doctors? Or was it something far more sinister? The last known days of Edgar Allan Poe. Poe's final journey began on September 27, 1849, when he left Richmond, Virginia, bound for Philadelphia. He was supposed to edit a collection of poems for Mrs. Street Leon Loud, a fellow writer. But somewhere between Richmond and his destination, Poe vanished. He was not heard from again until October 3, when he was found delirious in Baltimore. When he was discovered, Poe was barely recognizable. He was wearing ragged clothes, not his own, and appeared confused and agitated. His friends reported that he had been in good spirits before his disappearance. So, how did he go from planning a professional trip to being found in such a deplorable state? Eyewitnesses gave conflicting accounts of his behavior leading up to the discovery. Some claimed he had been seen wandering the streets for days, while others insisted he had been missing entirely. The only concrete evidence we have from those days are the garbled words Poe uttered while slipping in and out of consciousness. Unfortunately, none of those words provided any clear answers. What happened during those missing days? The days between his departure from Richmond and his discovery in Baltimore are a blank spot in the timeline. Did Poe suffer some sort of breakdown, or was he the victim of foul play? The lack of definitive evidence leaves a gaping hole in the story. As we dig deeper into those days, the mystery only grows. There are no records of where he stayed, who he interacted with, or what caused him to fall into such a state. The deeper we dive, the more we find ourselves grasping at shadows. But theories, as they do, began to spring forth. Theories, Cooping and Political Intrigue. One of the most compelling theories surrounding Poe's death is cooping. Cooping was a form of voter fraud in the 19th century, where gangs would kidnap individuals, force them to vote multiple times for a candidate, and often leave them for dead. Some believe Poe may have been a victim of this violent scheme. The fact that he was found during an election in Baltimore adds weight to this idea. Cooping victims were often drugged, beaten, and forced to wear disguises, explaining why Poe was found in unfamiliar clothing. But there's no hard evidence linking Poe to this crime. Nonetheless, the theory fits the puzzle of his unexplained condition. Was Poe an unlucky target, caught in the web of political corruption? Others speculate that Poe's death had more to do with political intrigue than voter fraud. Known for his sharp wit and biting critiques, Poe made many enemies. Could someone have arranged his demise to silence his pen? While no direct threats against Poe's life have surfaced, his turbulent relationships with certain figures in the literary and political worlds raise eyebrows. Despite the intrigue, there are gaps in these theories. While cooping and political assassination offer exciting explanations, neither has been substantiated with solid proof. The truth behind Poe's final days remains elusive, as tantalizing as one of his own macabre tales. The real story may be something entirely different. As we move through the theories of foul play, one must wonder, was Poe simply in the wrong place at the wrong time? Or were more sinister forces at work, pulling the strings from the shadows? Political or not, the violence and mystery surrounding his final hours cast a long shadow over his death. Medical explanations: rabies, alcohol, and illness. On the other hand, many experts lean toward medical explanations for Poe's death. Over the years, diagnoses ranging from rabies to brain lesions have been suggested. Dr. Michael Bennetters, a physician who studied Poe's symptoms, suggested that rabies might explain the delirium, confusion, and erratic behavior. However, there is no record of a bite or encounter with an infected animal. Poe's reputation as a drinker has also influenced the belief that alcoholism played a role in his death. Although accounts of Poe's drinking habits vary, some claim he had a low tolerance for alcohol, making even small amounts dangerous. The idea that he suffered from alcohol poisoning or withdrawal has been considered. Yet, doctors who treated him did not note the smell of alcohol, complicating this theory. Illnesses such as tuberculosis and encephalitis have also been proposed as causes. Poe had a history of poor health, and some have speculated that an underlying condition may have flared up during his final days. But again, there is no solid evidence to support a particular diagnosis. The exact nature of his ailment remains unclear. Another possibility is that Poe was suffering from a condition that modern medicine could easily diagnose, but 19th century physicians could not. Brain tumors, for example, were almost impossible to detect at the time. Could an undiagnosed medical condition have led to his delirium and eventual death? It's a possibility that deserves attention. The medical theories are compelling, but like the others, they leave us with questions rather than answers. If Poe's death was due to illness, why was it so sudden and unexpected? And why was his death certificate so vague? The mystery only deepens when we explore the missing records from his hospital stay. The lost letters and missing records. Adding to the intrigue, several key documents and records from Poe's final days are missing. Hospital records detailing his condition and treatment have vanished, leaving historians in the dark about his last moments. Some letters written by witnesses or physicians during that time have also disappeared. Whether through negligence or intent, these lost records obscure the truth even further. A particularly intriguing letter was written by Poe's attending physician, Dr. John Moran. While Moran provided an account of Poe's death, he altered his story several times over the years, leaving the reliability of his statements in question. His conflicting reports have left scholars to wonder whether he was hiding something. Or was Moran simply trying to insert himself into literary history? Poe's own correspondences during his final weeks have also been lost or destroyed, leaving a gap in our understanding of his state of mind. Without these letters, piecing together his thoughts and actions becomes even more difficult. The absence of these vital documents forces us to rely on second-hand accounts, which may have been tainted by bias or misinterpretation. This missing information casts a long shadow over the case. Historians have long lamented the gaps in the documentation of Poe's death. Every missing piece of paper, every vanished letter, only fuels the mystery. Could the missing records have held the key to understanding Poe's final moments? Or are they just another layer of a mystery that was never meant to be solved? As time goes on, the hope of recovering these lost documents fades. Without them, the mystery of Poe's death remains as elusive as ever. What were his final thoughts? What words might he have penned had his life not been cut short? These questions, like so many others, linger unanswered. In the end, the death of Edgar Allan Poe is as mysterious as the stories he wrote. Was it illness, foul play, or something more supernatural? Theories abound, but definitive answers remain just out of reach. Poe's life ended in confusion and uncertainty, just as his tales of horror often did. Despite the lack of resolution, Poe's legacy has only grown stronger. His death, though tragic, adds an element of intrigue to his already gothic persona. The unanswered questions make his life, and death, a perfect reflection of the eerie, haunting works he left behind. He remains an enduring symbol of mystery, both in literature and in life. While we may never know the truth about what caused his demise, Poe's influence on horror, mystery, and American literature is undeniable. His stories continue to captivate readers, and the mystery surrounding his death only adds to his mythos. Every unsolved piece of the puzzle reminds us why Poe remains one of the most enigmatic figures in literary history. Perhaps, in the end, Poe's death reflects the very themes he explored in life: uncertainty, the fragility of the human mind, and the inevitability of death. As we close this chapter, one thing is certain: the mystery of Edgar Allan Poe's death will continue to intrigue and puzzle for generations to come. And so, the tale of Edgar Allan Poe, the master of the macabre, remains as unsettling and unresolved as any of his stories. But maybe that's exactly how he would have wanted it. Thank you for watching.
Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment if you enjoyed the content and see you in our next video.